Yo, what's good, y'all? It's JR checking in, and today, you can probably tell by the title of the video, I have a request to Ubisoft, and that is to please revive Castle. Probably don't even see Castle out there. You probably don't play Castle, and to me, it's because he's so weak. Personally, I am a Castle main. He's my most played defender. I'm clocking in around about 104 hours played with him. So I have a lot of experience with him. He's been my main defender since probably the beginning of the game. I feel like Ubisoft has done him kind of dirty recently with all these buffs to these other operators, and he just hasn't really been getting anything. In fact, I feel like he's been getting nerfed a lot. And today, to me, Castle just seems really weak. And honestly, his name, to me, doesn't really make sense anymore. To me, the name Castle seems like a strong, indestructible fortress. And today, Castle is just a tent. He just gets blown around. He can get destroyed so easily. And I feel like that's kind of Ubisoft's fault. They kind of introduced all these new stuff into the game that makes him so weak. Some problems facing Castle is, one, his gun is really weak. The UMP-45 is arguably the worst gun in the game. It has a really slow fire rate. Sometimes I feel like I'm shooting Nerf bullets at attackers just because the gun is so weak. It's a really unreliable gun. Sometimes I feel like it's really good in such situations, and then sometimes it's just straight garbage. They gave Castle the 1.5 scope on his gun, so that helps kind of get headshots a little easier. But if you don't get those vital headshots, you're pretty much going to lose the gunfight with how weak the gun is. And I know some people have problems with it because if they buff the UMP, that's also going to affect Pulse, and it's going to make him really overpowered. So I understand that part. Other problems is that his secondary gadgets, not only his main gadget, but his secondary gadgets are pretty underwhelming. He has the options between a bulletproof camera and proximity detectors. He used to have impacts, which I don't understand why they took away. They gave him the impacts, and I feel like that would really fit his character. That was prime Castle to me. And they took him away for no reason. I really don't understand why. I'm an anchor, so those impacts helped me put rotation holes between the objectives and really help my teammates get between bombs easier. And so when they took the impacts away, it kind of took a part of him away too. They just left him with the Super Shorty, which I'm not saying is a bad shotgun, but you try making an impact size hole with a 3-mag shotgun. It takes a really long time, and I have died a couple times just making holes in it, and it's really frustrating how slow and unfair the process really is. I don't understand why operators like Capcan, Malusi, and Valkyrie have the options for both impacts and C4, and Castle has none. Like I said before, his gadget is really weak. His bulletproof doors really only block bullets anymore. In today's game, there are so many people that can destroy it. The people like Ash, Zofia, Sledge, Kali, Fuse, Maverick, Ace, Hibana, Thermite, Flores with his explosive drone. Also, grenades and breach charges, and anybody with a secondary hard breach. Literally anybody can destroy his barricades in a single blow. There are 31 attackers, and there are only 3 of them that don't have explosives to break Castle, and those are Twitch, Thatcher, and Jackal. Especially operators like Ash now have 3 explosive charges just because they took away her flashbangs, which kind of makes no sense to me because when they took Castle's impacts away, they did nothing. So it kind of felt like a biased move just to avoid hate from the community, and they knew they wouldn't get backlash from Castle because nobody plays him. Another thing that's bothering me is that Castle doesn't have an elite skin. It is criminal coming into year 6 that Castle and Monty still don't have an elite skin. But operators like Kali and Maverick are getting elite skins when they're just 2 years into the game. Especially now that Zofia is getting a second elite skin and Jackal just got his leaked. It seems like they just forgot about Castle and Monty are just moving on. Now, the first thing I like to do is give Castle a better primary. Now, we already talked about buffing the UMP and why that's a problem. So instead of buffing the UMP, I like to give Castle an entirely new gun. So I came up with 2 guns that would fit him well. The first is Vigil's gun, the K1A. Now, hold on. I know that gun is really lethal and it's really powerful, so that was kind of like a what if. But the second one I feel like is a really good choice. It's the MP5 SD. It's Echo's gun. This gun is really good, but it's not overpowered, and it's only exclusive to Echo, so that means Castle and Echo would have it. It wouldn't be too overpowered, but it would still give him a way better gun than the UMP. It wouldn't be the first time two original operators have different guns. Jaeger and Bandit have had different weapons since the beginning of the game, and Tachanka with his new LMG. Next, I'd like for them to give him his impacts back. The C4 would be nice, but I felt like since he already had impacts, it would just be right to give them back. It was such a good fit for him as a utility player, and it just really doesn't seem right that they took it away. Alright, so for his reworked gadget, I'll try to run through this quick. Have you ever walked into a store and you see like the automatic sliding glass doors? Basically, he'd have those, except they're not automatic. He'd basically install it on a door or a window, just like Mira installs her Black Mirror into walls. The glass would be bulletproof, just like the ones we see on Stadium. And instead of ripping the door down, there'd be a fingerprint scanner that the defender would use to open the door. It would make a noise when the scan is complete, telling the operators that the door is about to open up, so it doesn't catch anybody by surprise. Now this theoretically might sound OP, but I've thought of a lot of ways to counter this. One way it would be hard breachable, obviously. It would take 3 hits from Sledge. I said 3 because at the beginning of the game, when Sledge and Ash were the only operators that could blow stuff up, it made sense for them to hit Castle in 1 shot. But now that there's so many other ways to blow up Castle, I feel like Sledge should take 3 shots now. 2 shots from Ash, Zofia, and Callie, 2 grenades, 1 breach charge, 1 Gone 6 shot, and 1 Flores drone. And it's only 1 breach charge because if you go to put the second breach charge and the defenders see you, they can just shoot your feet, so it's kind of unfair. Now it is bulletproof glass, so you can't just melee it like a regular Castle. Instead, the attacker would melee the hand scanner, and after 12 times, like it already is, it would initiate an emergency open, and the door would blow open. Also, Twitch can shock the hand scanner and open it for a short period of time, just like Thatcher can with his EMP. They would both open for a short period of time. And you can't electrify it with Bandit or Cade since it'll mostly be glass, but you can still mute it like a regular Castle. That's pretty much it for that concept. Let me know what you guys think about it. I thought about some of the things that could have been OP and things that could have been balanced, and I came up with that as the final product. Let me know what you guys think. For my second idea, if that one was a little bit too much of a unrealistic thing, you know, I don't know if Ubisoft is going to make that change into the game. My second idea was just give him the MP5 SD, impacts, and make it so it's 3 hits with Sledge, 2 hits with Zofia, Ash, and Callie, and 1 with everything else. Lastly, an elite skin. Why have they not given Castle an elite skin? I mean, he is the OG black guy in the game. He's been there since the beginning. Why have they not given him the respect that he deserves? They keep moving on to these newer characters that haven't been in the game for so long, and Castle and Monty have not had their elite skins. I'd honestly be okay with like a guy in basketball shorts with a jersey on and a gold chain and do-rag and Jordans. That's how desperate I am for an elite skin right now. But in all seriousness though, there was one elite skin concept that I think would be cool. There was this old show on Nicktoons called NFL Rush Zone, and it's basically like these kids that would have a Ben 10 watch that when they hit it, they would get a football themed Iron Man suit, and it was kind of like futuristic, and it was kind of cool the way the football uniforms looked. So I think that for an elite skin would be really cool on Castle. I mean, the closest thing I'm getting to an elite skin is this new thing in the battle pass. He's got a fresh cut and some glasses, and then he's got this weird ass outfit with a t-shirt that looks like he got off of Custom Ink. With all that being said, that's all I have. I'd really love for them to give Castle a rework, maybe even just a buff. Just give him something that would make him a better, more useful character to the game, because right now he is actually garbaggio right now, and I really need him to get better because that's my guy. I don't care if you like the video, I don't care if you subscribe, but please share this video with the rest of the Arc 6 community and spread this message, because I think that Castle is so disrespected by Ubisoft right now. And with all that being said, I'm JR and I'm out. Deuces.